When a student steps on the campus of a university, the history of that university becomes their history. The year was 1939, and in just 6 short years, the University of Kansas City had grown from 266 to nearly 1,000 students. The campus was bursting with students. We needed more classrooms and offices and labs, and what we really needed most was what every great university has, a gymnasium. So William Volcker, our founder and patron, called up his friend, Edward Swinney, chairman of the First National Bank in Kansas City. The First National Bank building downtown on 10th Street is today the downtown Kansas City Library. And he called up his friend Ed and said, "Hey Ed, it's Bill. Why don't you donate a gymnasium to the university?" Now the two men had been long friends, and they had worked together on many projects with the Kansas City, Missouri School District and were passionate about Kansas City education. And so Mr. Swinney told Mr. Volcker, "Yes, I'll donate the $250,000 cost to build a gymnasium at the University of Kansas City. However, I want it to be anonymous." Edward Swinney came to Kansas City in 1887, and he got a job as a teller at the First National Bank. He eventually worked his way through every position at the bank and became president of the bank. Later on, he became president of the American Banking Association and was influential in the banking industry across the United States. Like Mr. Volcker, he was a very shy and reticent man and did not like the spotlight. And so when he asked Mr. Volcker that his donation be anonymous, he meant it. He did not want any attention. Of course, the next day, the Kansas City Star has an article that says, "Swinney donates gymnasium to the university." When the news hit the campus, there was uproar of applause and joy, and 200 of our students took the streetcar down to his office on 10th Street. And they stood in the street and they yelled and they chanted, "We want Swinney! We want Swinney!" Well, eventually he came down onto the front steps of the bank building, and the crowd cheered and roared his name. The student body president came up and read him a proclamation of thanks and handed it over to him. And then everybody stood and stared at him awkwardly. And he turned and nodded at the crowd, his appreciation. And then someone yelled, "Speech! Speech! Speech!" Soon, 200 of our students were in the street yelling, "Speech! Speech! Speech!" And Mr. Swinney turned and ran back to his office. When the gymnasium opened in September of 1941, it had such modern amenities as a 2-lane bowling alley in the basement. It had a secret sunbathing deck on the roof for the girls, and Kansas City's first squash and handball courts. But the student review in the Kangaroo Humor magazine was titled, "What? No swimming pool?" Well, in fact, the students would have to wait all the way until 1988 before they got their swimming pool. In 1988, the University of Missouri Kansas City was moving to NCAA Division I athletics. And so they needed to upgrade their facilities. Plus, the Swinney Gymnasium, which was built for a campus population of 1,000, was now serving a population of well over 10,000. And so the state legislature appropriated the money to expand the Swinney Gymnasium into the Swinney Recreation Center. And the students finally got their swimming pool, as well as a fitness center and 3 new modern gymnasiums.